Okay, so the next section is clone and edit other P5 worlds. If we're moving beyond the comfort of the starter world, we should look at other starter P5 worlds. So starter worlds for this API. So if I click on that, we get starter worlds for P5. So there's our friend, one cube world. That's what we started with. And there's a bunch of other starter worlds here doing various things. Some are kind of two-dimensional, some are kind of 3D. You can also look at all starter worlds, and this goes through all the APIs and gives you an idea of what you can do in each API. So here's the basic three.js API, and you can already see there's some pretty cool graphics there. Then we have the physics API, which is built on three.js. Then we have an initial P5 API. It's not actually the one we're using, and there's a reason for that. It's to do, well, I might as well tell you, we're using a very bare bones P5 API, which has very little support from Ancient Brain. The reason being that P5 normally has its own clock. That was the draw function. And in the APIs with lots of Ancient Brain support, the clock is all built in, and Ancient Brain manages the clock for you. So that may not be what you want with a P5 world. It almost certainly, or quite likely, is what you want with the three.js world, but not necessarily with the P5 worlds. So there's only 25 worlds in this P5 API with Ancient Brain support. So we just look at the other one further down. This is where you don't want any support. You don't want any graphics libraries. You can do all the graphics yourself. Then we have an API for three.js with no support, no Ancient Brain support, and the physics one, not going to be too popular. But the P5 with no Ancient Brain support will be popular because the Ancient Brain clock would get in the way of the P5 clock. So probably with the P5, you want to have no Ancient Brain help at all. Just do the P5 clock and the regular P5 draw and setup functions. Then for completeness, there's no graphics library, no Ancient Brain support. You can't do much with that. It's like assembly language programming. And then you have, for completeness, you can just have a web page as well, which has no graphics at all and no canvas involved. So they're the APIs with their starter worlds. And what might you look at next? You might look for a section of code called the tweakers box at the top. So the idea of the tweakers box is it's things you can change without really being an advanced programmer. So with our cube world, there were things like the object size and the angle rotation that we could change without being a programmer at all, basically.